السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الرحمة المهداة والنعمة المستعان علاه. ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. أما بعد. We talked on Thursday about actually half of the verse of the divorce. And we said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن ثلاثة قروء. That's what he talked about. ولا يحل لهن أن يكتمن ما خلق الله في أرحامهن إن كن يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر وبعولتهن أحق بردهن في ذلك إن أرادوا إصلاحا ولهن مثل الذي عليهن بالمعروف وللرجال عليهن درجة والله عزيز حكيم. I talked about the divorce, and we talked about what are the reasons that cause divorce. And we talked about the concept of waiting period, the iddah. Now I want to talk about this idea of reconciling. How should people reconcile their relationship? They may come to a point, like an end point, that say, okay, we need to get divorced. But maybe they have not thought about it well. Sometimes people get divorced, and the moment of anger, getting divorced, they have not realized that the problem can be resolved. And there's something called conflict resolution. In conflict resolution, you want to see how serious the problem is and how people can come to mediation. And mediation is different from arbitration. The three processes of helping people in relationship. The first one is counseling. And counseling is to advise people to have better way of communicating. Give them a skill set to be able to listen to one another. That's counseling. And the second is mediation. Mediation, when you say to people, let us resolve the issue, but every one of you have to compromise, to let go of something that they think is important to them so that they come to resolve the issue. The third is arbitration. Arbitration. And arbitration is where there's a committee or a judge or somebody making a decision, say one person is right, the other person is what? Is wrong. In mediation, we let go some of your rights. The other person let get some of their rights in order for them what? To come a solution. There are certain things in this process where we call them not compromisable issues, essential. They're not there to negotiate. We call them the red lines. What are your red lines? This is my red lines. A person, a wise person, an imam, a counselor, will tell them whether this is considered red line or not. Even in their mind is red line. Is it in Islam considered red line? Or yet they can't compromise on that. The problem that I see that the intervention that is not helpful. There's sometimes people come to make intervention to intercede or meddle in the middle of a marriage, that they are not really helpful. They are increasing the tension. And that's why you need to have people who have the interests of both people in hearts. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلْيَعْبَثُوا حَكَمٍ مِنْ أَهْلِهِ حَكَمٍ مِنْ أَهْلِهَا. But what did Sheikh Ismail, what did he say after that? إِن يُرِيدَا إِصْلَاحًا. If they have intention to bring peace, what happened to them? يوفق الله بينهم. Allah then give them tawfiq. But the intention has to be there. But if those people being brought to mediate, to try to do islah, to amend, they don't accept it, they don't have the intention to bring islah, it's not going to work. Even in the community, by the way. If a community of islah sit down and the people have dispute, never have the intention to have islah, it's not going to work. They have to accept that they are here to amend the relationship. Then islah is not going to work. Because you have to come to it with pure heart. That you want islah. If you want somebody who wants revenge and avenge, it's not going to work. Yurida islaha. Now, it's a very important to contemplate on this verse in managing relationship. Let me just share something with you. I've been saying all the time, even to places where I sit of non-Muslims. I told them that all the relationships about managing conflict and managing, I'm talking human being relationship, managing conflict and managing personalities. Trust me, even in our house. Managing conflict and managing personalities. How? Because you want to avoid any kind of thing lead to conflict. What does lead to conflict? The lack of sincerity, adam al-ikhlas. What leads to conflict is lack of forgiveness. You will not forgive. You have a heart. Our heart is loaded. What lead to people not come to an agreement? Ego. And that misunderstanding of roles. Look at this ayah. What it says. وَلَهُنَّ مِثُلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةٌ. I have a tafsir in my hand. Why I bring tafsir always in my classes? I read the tafsir before I come. The reason I bring the tafsir, if somebody will ask me, who said this? I said this. You hear what I'm saying? So that, the classical tafsir, the traditional tafsir, has a lot of wisdom to offer. But there's some people contemporary mufassirin like Sheikh al-Sha'rawi, rahimahullah. I listened to him in tafsir of this ayah. طيب. Allah says, and for وَلَهُنَّ, for women, مِثُلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةٌ وَاللَّهُ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. And they have the rights, obligations, as they have rights and obligation. They have obligation to fulfill, and their spouses have obligation to fulfill. Right? Then he says, equally, mutually, and then he said the men have a degree upon them, above them. And listen carefully to this. There's the 3 dimensions in rights and obligations. Number 1, a person must not demand their rights before they fulfill their obligations. Every sister who's listening, every brother who's listening, don't demand your rights before you fulfill your obligations. Otherwise, you do what? وَيْلٌ لِلْمُطَفِّفِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ يَسْتَوْفُونَ وَإِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوهُمْ يُخْسِرُونَ أَلَا يَظُنُّ أُولَٰئِكَ أَنَّهُمْ مَبْعُوثُونَ لِيَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ يَوْمَ يَقُومُ النَّاسُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. You become like a mutaffif. What a mutaffif? A mutaffif is a person demands their rights fully. But when the rights of others being asked to fulfill, he feels short. They will never fulfill the rights of other people. They're in tatfif. And this is a distorted idea of entitlement. I am so-and-so, or their brother or sister. You have to do this for me, but what are you doing for the other person? Because some people enter a relationship will be self-centered. I and I and I. Me and me and me. I care about me. I don't care about you. You're supposed to be serving me. You're supposed to be doing this for me. No. That they have to fulfill these mutual obligations. Now, the second thing is the ihsan in obligations. It is not, I don't have to do this, but you do it out of generosity. You do it out of loving person. You care about the other person. Right? What is our model and example? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Don't let anyone tell us how our manhood look like. I see some people being fascinated with this new phenomenon of manhood. And sister, what's your model and example? Sayyidah Khadija radallahu anha. Don't let anyone tell you how to look like. We have a distorted ideas. We have model and example. Why are we going somewhere else? If we have, Allah have set the example for us. Look to the marriage of Rasulullah to Khadija, period. That marriage only. All other marriages, but this example, just let every sister try to be like Khadija and every person follow the Rasulullah. Then we don't go wrong. This idea of gender war, there's a war between men and women, is not an Islamic idea. You enter in a marriage as if you're going to a war. Why? Allah said, لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. So you might have tranquility in them, your husband and wife. And he said, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. He put love and mercy between your hearts. What happened to that? Those are the principles governs relationship. Now, let me say one thing about this daraja. This daraja, what's the degree? Is it a daraja because male are better than female, that they have a degree above them? Is a daraja of responsibility. Sheikh Sha'rawi was saying, rahimahullah, that the man supposed to give the financial maintenance to the household, supposed to pay the bills. The daraja of responsibility of protecting his family. But does any one of us here believe that? I'm talking to male first. That we know it all, that always we know more than our wives. Do you believe that? You better not say yes, because it's recorded too. Okay. No, this is really a misunderstanding. Your spouse, my wife, certain area, she knows more than I do, for sure. And I yield to her, says, Tell me what you want to do in this. She yelled to me the other issues in the household. This is, listen, there's extremist feminism, there's extreme chauvinism. Masculinity, chauvinism. All of them are toxic. Period. Both of them are toxic. You get my point? There's not only one toxic, both of them are toxic. That people come in with the notion that I'm going to be in a war with my husband, I'm going to be in a war with my wife. That's toxic. We have to follow the model of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Follow the Sayyidah Khadija radiallahu anha model in the household. By the way, I do workshop of 8 weeks, each one of them 1.5 hours in healthy marriage. And I'm not going to, in half an hour, I'm going to teach all of that. But I'm going to just do this so I can finish this ayah. Wallahu azizun hakim. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I don't think I will be able to finish this whole ayah, second ayah also, but I will just do a little bit of it. الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان. Half of the verse. Divorce are twice. A possibility of reconciling. Waiting period. The third is what? It's gone. الطلاق مرتان. Divorce are twice. 2 times. If a man said to his wife, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you. 3 times in one sentence. What happened to that? Some ulama, they consider this final divorce. Just transparency. Madhahib, they consider this final divorce. Others said, no, this is considered one divorce. مطلقة الثلاثة في لفظ واحد تعتبر طلقة رجعية. They say that divorcing a woman 3 times is 3 times one sentence is considered one divorce. Why they say that? Those who said that opinion. They said because Rasulullah asked Ibn Umar to take his wife back because he divorced a long time. And then if you want to divorce her, you can divorce her. That's one thing. Ulama said, كان الطلاق في عهد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم مطلقة الثلاثة, the woman being divorced 3 times in one sentence. في عهد رسول الله طلقة واحدة صلى الله عليه وسلم. طلقة واحدة, considered one divorce. وفي عهد أبي بكر, in the time of Abu Bakr, طلقة واحدة. وفي سنتين, in the first 2 years of خلافة عمر رضي الله عنه, طلقة واحدة رجعية. فلما أكثر الناس الطلاق أمضاها عليهم عمر 3. Then Umar رضي الله عنه, after 2 years, when people started playing with divorce, he said, if you do that, it's final divorce. The ulama looked at this and says, that was hukm al-hakim. That Umar رضي الله عنه did this as the ruler at the time. What people were, the Sahaba did not object him. قالوا هذا إجماع سكوتي. The silent ijma'. And silent ijma', there's a different opinion about as evidence of silent ijma', consensus, silent consensus. They said, when a person said to a woman, I divorce you, and remember I said the divorce should take place in the time there's no intimate relationship, not in a monthly period. If he said, I divorce you, she's what? Supposed to be? Divorced. Then he said, I divorce you. She already divorced. يطلق المطلقة. ها؟ الشيخ إسماعيل صاحي معي في الموضوع ده. He said, you get the logic? He said, I divorce you. طيب, okay, divorce. I divorce you. We already said that. You get my point? You have to get back. It becomes another divorce. You hear what I'm saying? The other thing they said, Allah, you say tasbih after salah. يسبحون الله what? 33. If I said Subhanallah 33 times, this sentence, it counts? Huh? Doesn't count. Does it? The wholesale like that? Huh? Yeah. In azam al-talaq. Then if a person take 7 pebbles, stones, took them and throw them once. Huh? How many consider? One. You have like 7 at the time, but it's considered 1 because you have to do 7 throwing. It is very important when you look to the commitment you make in marriage. We make a commitment of something called al-mithaq al-ghalid. That's why I don't officiate marriage without telling them this. This is a strong covenant. This is not the procedures of signing a paper. وكيف تأخذونه وقد أفضى بعضكم إلى بعض وأخذنا منكم ميثاقا غليظا. ميثاقا غليظا. Who have taken a covenant? أصحاب اللغة. Who have taken the covenant? من الذي أخذ الميثاق؟ ها؟ نعم؟ الزوج؟ ها؟ نعم أخذنا منكم. النون هذه نون فتحة. هذه نون إيش؟ نون النسوة. It is not نون with ألف. أخذنا النساء أخذنا منكم. لو كانوا أخذنا يعني الله ربنا يقول نحن أخذنا منكم. لكن أخذنا منكم النساء. الطلاق مرتان. إمساك بمعروف. Now come to the إمساك بمعروف. I'm going to do this in 2 minutes because I have another class. What is al-imsak bil ma'ruf? When you read the Quran, you look to the same word where Allah used it. We call the Quranic terminologies, مصطلحات القرآنية. Quran define ma'ruf, define ihsan, define munkar. What is ma'ruf? Ma'ruf have 3 things. By the way, if I start any one of those numbers and I did not finish them, I went over to something else, remind me. You get my point? Huh? Yeah. The first, there's nothing we'll consider ma'ruf if it's violate what Allah says and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. المعروف ما كان معروفا عند الله عند رسول الله. That's first criterion. This ma'ruf has boundaries. What his ma'ruf is, said by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah. The second ma'ruf is the ma'ruf of the customs from urf. This comes from Hadith Surah sallam. قال فلتأخذي بالمعروف. He told Abu Sufyan's wife, take from his money بالمعروف. The customary. And then the third one is ma'ruf, is deal with the nature of a person that you marry. I give you an example, a very silly example. If somebody uses a particular type of oil, their spouse allergic to it. They sneeze every time they smell them. كل هذا مسك بالمعروف يا أخي. Just eliminate that oil. She's not familiar with it. She's not something can be comfortable with. I'm just give an example. If we were to talk about ma'ruf, if we define ma'ruf well, then we know when the relationship goes wrong. Because imsakum bi ma'ruf. Hold into relationship with ma'ruf. طيب, it didn't work out. تسريح بإحسان. تسريح. Let go with ihsan. I'm not doing this tafsir on Sunday. I'm going to ask Abdul Rafi to talk more about this, inshallah. But this ayah itself would take weeks, not exaggerating, weeks talk about ma'ruf. Ma'ruf is what the healthy relationship is. If people know the ma'ruf, then we'll reduce the talaq, the divorce. إمساكم بالمعروف أو تسريحا بإحسان. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وقنا شر ما قضيت إنك تقضي بالحق ولا يقضى عليك. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما تفرقنا من بعد تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا ولا منا ولا بيننا شقيا ولا محروما. اللهم نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار برحمتك يا عزيز يا غفار. اللهم هذا إدبار ليلك وإقبال نهارك وصوت دعاتك فاغفر لنا فإنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت. أصبحنا وأصبح الملك لله والحمد لله لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك له الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم نسألك خير هذا اليوم وخير ما فيه وخير ما بعده ونعوذ بك من شر وشر ما فيه وشر ما بعده. Oh Allah, we ask you the best of this day and days to come and protect us, all of us, from all the harm may come in this day and days to come. Oh Allah, guide our heart toward you, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, purify our heart from envy, from hatred, from grudge. Oh Allah, make us among those who do islah, amend relationship, and seek to help those who are in tension in the relationship, so may bring peace to people and our homes and other people's homes. Oh Allah, we ask you to grant us spouses and offspring with the comfort of our eyes and make us the leader of the righteous. Oh Allah, we ask you to help those being oppressed. اللهم انصر المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم كل الأرامل واليتامى والمساكين. اللهم إنك ترى مكانهم وتسمع دعاهم ولا يخفى عليك حالهم. كن لهم يا مولانا يا عظيم. اللهم إنهم مظلومون فانتصر لهم. اللهم إنهم مغلوبون فانتصر لهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك يا مولانا يا عظيم أن تكن لهم يا مولانا. اللهم ارحم ضعفهم يا مولانا. اللهم كن لهم عونا ونصيرا. لا إله إلا أنت ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بك. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. 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 اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين وارحم امواتنا واموات المسلمين. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم واكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم واغسل خطاياهم بالماء والثلج والبرد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمه الله.